Yes, sir.
So I have a question, but first, it's based on this PBS public television documentary you might have seen that they showed where some people have their tap water faucet catching on fire.
The gang, what is it called?
Gasland.
Gasland. I apologize, I have not seen that.
So,
but go ahead.
PBS now, Bill Morris.
Is it?
yeah,
Okay.
and if anybody wants, I've got a computer here. If they want to see the faucet lighting on fire afterwards, I'll be willing to show
That
it.
used to be moonshine.
But first of all, I really appreciate West Liberty setting this up because all of us have these questions, and you know.
I give them applause.
And everyone here, in addition to the financial questions, we're all concerned about our water quality as well. And I don't know if the Department of Environmental Protection plans to set up sessions like this so that those questions come out in conjunction, because one of the big questions is, unless each of us hire a lawyer, in addition to worrying whether our gas is being taken without us being paid for it, if our drinking water gets impure, there's no way to fix that after the fact for our kids or our grandchildren or any time in the foreseeable future. What do we do about that as a group, given that we've all heard these stories about Oglebay getting a bad deal, but in addition to a bad deal, maybe with all the explosions or other things that are going on now, we've got an environmental deal that all of us are going to be a part of.
Yeah. Did everybody hear the question? Okay. About the environmental concerns, the water issues, some of the explosions that have happened. In West Virginia, when they submit a permit, they being the gas companies, and they submit a permit on your property, or that they're going to come in and drill a well in your unit, then they are required to offer to test your water well. They don't have to do it. I mean, if you don't want them to, you don't have to let them, but you would highly recommend you let them do it, because they're not. It's not them testing it. It's somebody that they're just paying for it. And they may work that out where you just find somebody you want to do it and they'll pay for it. If it's within 1,000 feet. If there are no wells within that 1,000, water wells within that 1,000 feet, then they go out to 2,000 feet. What they're trying to do is to protect each when a water well problem happens, that if it's within that circle, then it's up to the gas company has to defend itself. What happened, and show that they did not contaminate your well. If it's outside of that and something happens to your water, then it's up to the owner of the well to prove it's far enough away that the fracturing. Now this was 20 years ago for this water well stuff. Now with the fracturing and the horizontal drilling and all that, I don't have an answer. I really don't. But I do say to address it in your lease, the document, that they will protect your groundwater, and if they ruin it, they'll drill you another well, that kind of thing. They're not out to ruin the water, but I think what happens is this technology is so new to this area that they're not sure what's going to happen to it with all the fracturing. And they need, as long as they're responsible for fixing it, at some point your water is more valuable than the revenue that's going to come off your property.
They have told us that they're going to case down 1,300 feet.
They're required to protect the groundwater.
And they've already said they're going to test our water before and after.
Right. When you think of it, the groundwater is what? How deep is it?
Depends.
Yeah,
40, 50 feet.
But they're required to protect it on the vertical. Because the horizontal is not all horizontal. It's vertical to get there, and that's where they run into the groundwater. So I don't know that leg is having all the effect on the groundwater.
Well, what do you do if we've heard reports that inspectors won't even go check on things unless they call Charleston to check because there's a lot of in cahoots with?
Oh boy!
And you've also heard.
Did everybody hear that one?
Yeah. And then the second question being on that, well, it's not a question, but the concern being that on that fine Wheeling just had to pay because of the disposal stuff, being released in an impure way, the fine was $400,000, but if it costs the disposal company a couple million to clean it, they're better off paying the fine.
paying the fine.
And then we're left with the drinking water problem? What do
Yeah.
we do?
The question is still is concerning drinking water, or if there's an issue with drinking water, and the DEP is somewhat friendly with the gas companies, and you're not really getting a result from or getting much satisfaction from the local inspector. Did I say that fairly? Not a new problem. You really, if you're not getting, there is a process that if you're not getting satisfaction from your local inspector, then the DEP is required, once you make the request, they're to bring in an inspector from outside the area. Somebody that is not seeing these same people every day and do an investigation of the problem. These folks, some of these inspectors have come from the industry. That doesn't mean that they're out there just in cahoots with them, but I think they do get comfortable with them, and they're unwilling to. Am I saying that right? they're just they have a job to do. The further away you get from Charleston, the less you may get some of that. Because they're out there literally on their own, trying to do the job.